So for today's video, I'm going to show you just 3 stretches that I use with my clients that have lower back problems, but also with myself. I've actually messed up my back about 5 or 6 times just over the years of lifting without having improper cues to go off of and nobody really teaching me what I was doing. So now I did that when I was much younger, and now I'm still dealing with it. But these are actually stretches that I personally use myself also, just to maintain keeping the back really, really strong and keeping it loose so that I don't throw out my back again. And usually I'm talking really about the lumbar spine, so we're talking really L3, 4, 5, 6 down in this lumbar spine here. It's usually where you're going to see maybe a disc herniation or something like that, right? So I want to make sure that you understand that this is not going to be for an acute state. If you've recently thrown your back out, you're not doing this stuff. You need to go to the doctor, the physical therapist, the chiropractor, and you need to work with them until you really pull out of that acute state. If you've had any surgeries or anything like that, you also need to make sure that you run this by your physical therapist, your chiropractors, your doctors to make sure that you're good to go with that. But for anybody else, general tightness, they've thrown out their back before and they want to stay ahead of it, or they have just nagging back pain, here's some stretches that you can do. The first one that we're going to do is actually just a press up. So for this, I'm actually going to lie flat on my stomach like this. I'm going to place my hands out here. I want to keep my lower back, okay? So my lower back, my glutes, and my hamstrings relax, and then my stomach as well as I slowly press up. Go as high as you can, and then you'll relax and come back down. You're going to do this about 5 to 10 times. Now, as I'm going through this, I might see slow improvement every single time I press up. This isn't, because most people look at this and they go, oh, that's upward facing dog, and you're doing this, and we're doing the yoga pose and all this other stuff. We're not doing that. We're really just trying to, not that that doesn't decompress the lower back, we're really just trying to focus on opening everything up and not, because when I slam up here like this, usually what you're going to find with a lot of people, because they're tight and they're just pushing to the top position, their hamstrings and their glutes are firing and their abs aren't relaxed. So it's actually, as I'm here, my hamstrings and glutes are anchoring me, and as I pull up, my abs are pulling me forward. So that's actually like putting a lot of pressure, shifting my back this way, and I don't want that, right? So I actually want to just decompress it. So as I'm here, slowly coming up, and then back down like that, okay? So that's going to be the first one. Those are press-ups. Really, really good for decompressing that lower back. So that's the first one. Now we're going to cut. We're going to go to standing. I'm going to show you a couple more. All right, for the second one, you're just going to need a wall here, and we're actually going to try and open up the hips a little bit, lower part of the hips, lower part of the obliques. Kind of goes into the QL a little bit, which is the lower part of my back here. So up against this wall, I'm going to stack my arm like this, and I want to be in a straight line. So I'm not leaning like this, and I'm not like this. I'm here. This makes a 90-degree angle, right? So I'm here. If we were to translate that, right? So it looks 90, but it's pulled up here. So it's not away from my body. It's not pulled too far back. It's not up high or down low. 90 right here creates that nice line. I'm going to take a deep breath into my belly. So I'm trying to get the air down here low. So it's easier to do that through the nose than through the mouth. And then I'm just going to slowly allow myself to just lean and stretch. And then I'll come back up like that. You don't want to force this and really push this stretch too far. Deep breath in. Slowly let that just drop this way. Now I'm focusing on this side for a reason. Because when I hurt my back, I actually kink like this, and this side locks down on me. So this is my trouble side. So that just means, for me, the nerve, as it exits the spinal column, when it goes on this side, this is the side that's actually pinched or compressed, right? So this is where I'm getting the compression on the disc and on the nerve. So on my right side of my body, I don't really need to stretch this side, okay? I'm gonna focus a little bit more time on this side. That's not to say that you might not do this other side. Sometimes my hips are just really, really tight, so I might do a couple on this, but I always focus on this side for me, right? Deep breath in, and then slowly holding that breath, letting this drop in, and I'll stretch and then I'll come back out. I don't hold the bottom for a super long amount of time. Now, let's say you're having trouble here. What I can do is bow forward a little bit and then lean. And I'll still get a little bit of stretch through here, but it does take some of that pressure. Maybe you're actually feeling a little bit of nerve stuff going on with this. If I bow forward, I can alleviate some of that, okay? So that was the second one. For this, I would do 5 to 10, right? Press ups, I'm kind of doing 5 to 10. And then now we're gonna switch to a QL stretch that I'm gonna show you. Alrighty, so for the third stretch, we're actually gonna do a QL stretch. QL is right here, quadratus lumborum, right? So right here in the back, okay? This has a tendency to be really, really tight, especially because most of us are sitting with either actually physically sitting or standing with an anterior front side body like pelvic tilt, meaning I'm tucking my hips like this, and this gets really, really tight because it's trying to stabilize that position. Super important because a lot of times these back injuries, this gets even more tight. It needs to be stretched out so it can pull some of that tension that it's putting on the lower back. So for this, remember this right side is my trouble side, so I'm actually gonna put an emphasis and focus on this side. Same thing applies like with the wall lean. If I'm feeling tightness on this side, I still stretch the other side, but I'm usually focusing on this one side. So what I'm gonna do here, my feet are together like this. I'm going to turn my left foot out, and that means I'm going to be gliding my hand on that side. So I'm here like this, so I have a 90-degree angle like this. I'm gonna take this hand, I'm gonna take a deep breath into the belly, and then I'm gonna glide down like this, keeping in alignment with my body. So I'm not leaning forward on this, I'm not leaning back, I'm just upright. I know how far I'm getting, which is kind of close to my knee, and then I come back up. So that's kind of my tester. Now I'm gonna do three to five of the actual stretch, which kind of looks like I think it's like a plie with ballet, where I'm gonna go like this with my arm. So I'm gonna take a deep breath in, push that low into the belly. I'm gonna lean this way, and I'm gonna take my arm, I'm gonna come up, over, I'm gonna curve. I'm gonna hold it, and then I'm gonna wrap back around like this. I don't spend an insane amount of time on this stretch when I actually peak. 5, maybe 10 seconds at most is usually what I'm seeing, and this is what I have my clients do. But as I am there, I'm focusing on breathing that air in my belly onto this side so that that actually stretches out. I come back, and then I'll do it a couple more times, right? Deep breath in, glide down, my arm comes up and over, and then I'll pull it back. And I'm gonna feel that stretch coming all the way down through here, right? So we're not only getting some of the lower oblique here, but it's wrapping around, and this is that QL that we really wanna stretch right here. So that was the third stretch. So my recommendation is, first thing in the morning and before you go to bed, if you do have chronic back pain, do these, okay? On top of that though, I do this whenever I need to, when I'm feeling that my back is slowly starting to get stiff. It doesn't take that much time to do my press ups, to do my wall lean, or to do my QL stretch. You're talking like 2, maybe 3 minutes, right? If I don't have that much time and like it's more of a pressing issue and I can't get to the ground or anything like that, I'm only gonna do something that focuses on the area that's actually really, really tense for me. A lot of the times that is the outside part of my hip, so I'm gonna focus more on my wall leans than I might my press ups. Now, I am gonna give you a different variation on the press up right now though, which is the standing version that I might do. I'm working on an office, I'm not gonna get down on the ground, right, and just start doing my press ups in the middle of the office, or maybe I work around machinery or something like that, and there's stuff on the floor I'm not gonna mess with. You're gonna take your fists like this, you're gonna put them right here, right? Lower part of my back. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, and then I'm gonna lean back like that. And it's doing a very similar thing to what you're seeing with the press up, but I need to make sure that I have air filled in this belly so that I actually have support for the internal components of not only my midsection, my core, but my lower back as well. So I'm gonna hold here, and then I'll come out of it. So this would be the standing variation of the press up. Another thing from this position that I'll do though, is I'll go here, and then I'll actually lean. And then I'll get that stretch through here. And then I'll go to this other side. So that's kind of like a combo of my QL stretch and my wall lean. And I usually do this when I'm in a situation, like I said, where I can't just like, all right, I'm gonna go to the wall, I'm gonna start doing wall leans, I'm gonna get on, I can't do all that stuff, right? So, moving around, you're not in a situation where you can't do these, always default to these standing variations. That way you're at least getting some type of decompression and stretch through these areas. So now we're actually gonna move to the, I'm actually gonna bring you over to the couch. I'm gonna show you a breathing drill that I want you to do that kind of finishes all of this out. And it's also a way to kind of calm down the lower back if it does feel tweaked. So let's go ahead and move to the couch. Alrighty, so the last thing, this is kind of just a bonus thing. If I do tweak my back, one of the things that I want to do is pull a lot of pressure off of this lower back. I want to get it so that it can kind of calm down a little bit, because those nerves are forcing the muscles to kind of lock down. So we want to get the back in a position where it's not having to hold itself up. We can let those muscles calm down a little bit. So I have a couch here. Anything really that I can prop my legs up on and create a really good 90-degree angle like this, and it won't be perfect, but close here. And then I can actually relax my lower back like this, and then just simply lay down, right? And from here, I would actually just relax in this position. And usually you're looking at 3 to 5 minutes. I don't want to stay here for too long without any movement, because then my muscles are really just going to tighten on me. Depending on where you're at, if it's an acute stage, you're going to put ice on it. If it's more of like, hey, my back just feels really, really tight, I might put some heat on it to kind of relax the muscles a little bit. So keep that in mind. Ice for inflammation, heat for tightness. But in this position, I would want you to focus on diaphragmatic breathing, or building intra-abdominal pressure as you breathe, meaning that I'm going to breathe into the belly, and I'm not going to shoulder breathe, which is what most of us do. So from this position, my back should be completely flat to the ground. I'm not arching it like this where you can get your hands underneath, right? Flat, just like this. I'm going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and I should feel pressure here. This is what we were talking about with the wall lean and the QL stretch. This will actually help you. If you're struggling with that, this will actually help you train the body to use this pressure and to breathe diaphragmatically. Breathe here, hold, and then slowly breathe out. It's good to do a breathing box. It'll help you have structure with it. So 3 seconds on an inhale, hold for 3 seconds, 3 seconds on an exhale, hold for 3 seconds, and you would repeat that process. So this is a good way, like I said, to kind of calm that area down. From here, this is the DNS stuff, which is dynamic neuromuscular stabilization. And what this is we look at the developmental stages of babies neurologically, and then we try to recreate those. And the test is actually the exercise itself. And this is called a 3-month position, because at 3 months you'll actually see babies get in this position, but it's here. And they'll hang out here, okay? And they can do this for a long period of time, and I guarantee you, you'll get in it and you'll be like, whoa, it'll take a long time. But in this position, if you want a progression, and this would be not only a good test for you to see where your intra-abdominal pressure is, but how good you are and how strong you are with this, but it also help the back. It'll get stronger. Because when I come here, breathing into that belly, so it all feels really, really tight, and then holding that pressure there, and then being able to hold a conversation and still breathe on top of that pressure that you've built in there. And you'll feel it really, really low, kind of almost right above your pubic bone, right? And I want to fill this out, and I'll feel it on the backside as well. As far as how long you might do this, it's up to you. It's up to the individual. Most likely, my body's going to get super duper tired, so you're going to have a muscle give out, right? It's going to be too much. Mentally, it's just too taxing to keep up with all that stuff, so you're going to have to take a break. Or neurologically, right? You just can't maintain all this anymore. You're floating in and out, and your body's starting to shake. You're done, okay? And you might practice that just for a couple run-throughs. So that's going to finish out the kind of stretching routine that I, like I said, not only have my clients do, but that I do myself for my back. It's a daily thing. I mean, anybody with chronic back pain knows that it can be a struggle to do day-to-day stuff. This is a good way to not only help that, but to keep you on the proactive side. don't wait until you're injured to go to the chiropractor or the physical therapist or to do these stretches because you've now blown out a disc or something like that. Stay ahead of it, do this stuff. Work on your deadlifts as well. And all those movements that not only require a good intra-abdominal pressure, but actually train the musculature of the back as well, and the legs, because that's where your back is sitting on. So I hope that helps. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. And then let me know what you guys want to see also. If it's more back stuff, I can do that. Medical exercise stuff, the post-rehab stuff, MoveNat. I've just recently done a DNS workshop, so I'm working more on that. Hopefully I'll have some videos out soon with Brett Winchester and him showcasing how to do some of these movements, so hopefully I can get those out for everybody as well. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and check back soon for more videos.